All right, and we are live. Musty Wargamers Season 9, Episode 5.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? Where's the cheering section?
Where's the cheering section?
Oh, yeah.
Rusty
You
said,
gotta get one of those
Rusty's-
applause tracks,
That's right.
like they do on TV shows.
Like a 1950s applause track,
Yeah.
like from like, and our audience likes it. It claps.
That's awesome.
All right.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm doing great.
I actually ended up doing something bad. I didn't actually put the StreamYard up until 15 minutes before the show. I completely forgot. I actually announced it on Facebook, but there was no announcement a few days ahead, with that. And so hopefully,
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, hopefully enough. Well, a lot of the folks that come in our chat are from Facebook. I mean, we do occasionally get some folks from the YouTube channels that might have looked for that. But in any case, hopefully they do see this now, if they were waiting for it. But yeah, we are a little lonely at the moment as far as the comment section. But we'll see. That'll probably change. Anyways, how's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Super.
All right. Since everybody's tired everybody's tired still all that turkey from the U.S. Thanksgiving.
I do not want to see another turkey forever again.
Oh,
Hey,
come on now.
I don't like turkey.
Oh, I love turkey. Oh, my
I love
gosh.
turkey.
I didn't even
Turkey's
say
my
that.
favorite.
Yeah, I like it multiple times a year. I actually like it Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter.
If I had my druthers, I'd have ham all the time.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I like
fun.
it too. I like
Yeah, I like ham, but
Yeah. My daughter hosted this year, so she cooked turkey and then said, "Here's all the leftovers." I'm like, oh,
you lucky dog.
God.
See, the thing is
turkey.
that I love I like the homemade turkey soup that you get after.
I made turkey noodle
breakfast
soup
and everything.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best. And then I love the turkey sandwiches, even the night of Thanksgiving after eating it during the day.
Yeah.
I love all those turkey sandwiches.
Let's put
Anyways.
it this way. If I had my way, if I was going to eat bird, it'd be if I could get the biggest chicken and then roasted chicken. I'd be
Huh.
Yeah, I like chicken too.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Not ostrich though, not the biggest bird in that way.
Well, big bird,
That's a dangerous.
he's a one-time serving.
Well,
You ever see that? I think it's The Far Side. It shows all the Muppets around the kitchen table, or the dinner table, and you got Big Bird in the middle, roasted up.
I think I did see that. Looks like we got Clark in the house. Hey, Clark.
Hey, Clark.
Long time no see.
Yeah, seems like it.
All right. Good to see him in the chat. Got somebody else has joined in. They've not said anything yet, but yeah, cool. All right, so before we start doing the updates, I'll just mention real quick for those that are wondering, we've got 2 topics for tonight. We'll see whether we can get to the second. Hopefully we can. But the first one is your go-to period for gaming that you like to go to the most. Could be anything, fantasy, historical. And then the second one is how scale creep affects gaming. And so we'll do kind of intros, talk a little bit about it as we open it up. But yeah, that's that. And so Tim, in the hobby world and in the gaming world, do you have anything going on in particular lately?
Who, me? Oh, I got finally got a game in of ACW, the epic scale stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was it's a lot of fun. I enjoy that stuff. I enjoy it. It's a real grind. When you play those games. And I mean, it doesn't like a lot of games, stuff just runs off the table. They got a great rule in there. It's called whipped. And
Okay.
it's where you're like, if you get what would be traditionally you would retreat off the table.
Mm-hmm.
You just move one space back and then you don't move at all for the rest of the game. You're just stuck there. Now you'll fight if somebody comes after you, but it's just called whipped. It's like where like troops go to ground, they find cover, and they just say, "Look, I'm not moving again. I'm not going forward. I ain't going backwards." Yeah.
Are you? Is that the Warlord Games? The Warlord Games game? Do you think?
And
okay.
And it's one of their supplements to. What is that? What I forget.
Black
what
powder.
Well, they have a special ACW book.
Oh, it's the
Glory.
Yeah, Glory Hallelujah.
Glory Hallelujah. Yeah, that word.
That one.
And
so it's based on Black Powder's Command and Control, though. It's still that style of game.
Yeah, still that kind of style, but they got some special rules in there, like like cavalry just doesn't charge, frontally onto infantry, Okay. Like it would if it was like Napoleonic period. They just didn't do that, and that like I said, that whipped rule is pretty interesting. But the only thing I don't like about it is that it happens too often. The whipped,
Okay.
It happens almost all the time when a unit breaks, because it normally, if it breaks from hand to hand, then it'll never be whipped. It just runs off the table. But if it's broke from shooting, it becomes whipped, and it just moves one movement back, keeps the same facing, and then it never loses its shaken and disorder. You can't give it any orders. It's just there.
There's
if you get into range,
do?
If you get into range of it, it'll shoot. But basically, it's just like an entity there, and it takes all the penalties for shaken and all that kind of stuff. It happens. We played Saturday, and every unit that was beaten and had to flee because of shooting, every one of them became whipped. And
I never noticed that in any playthroughs.
Oh, the whip thing?
I didn't notice it was a big deal, like you're saying.
Yeah, it just happens to us all the time. And unless, of course, we're doing something incorrect, where we're misinterpreting a rule, or we're missing a line out of the book. Because I don't have it, he does, and I don't know if there's like a special roll you have to get before you become whipped, or you break, or something. I don't know, but it just happens an awful lot when we play, and it doesn't seem
felt weird, huh?
Might require a second look.
Because it just seems like it happens way too much.
Yeah,
way too much. Yeah. I don't particularly, but the rest of the game, I like the grinding aspect of it. Because it has a real, it has that kind of feel to it, where it's not just you take a couple of shots and then all of a sudden you're just gone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Rusty's comments up there. How about your hobby stuff? You're always painting a lot. What are you doing lately?
I have not been painting a lot. I'm still working on these Persians. They like I said, I just started this unit of 2, 4, 6, 8, like 24 guys, and it's taken forever because they got so much on their uniforms and stuff. A lot of stripes, polka dots, and I'm not even close to being done with them, but you see all the stripes, kind of like a Gaelic army, kind of got that kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see where they
I see.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot going on the pants and on the shirts. Now this is a heavy infantry unit that they would never have very many of these, but I want them to look right on the table. and I
Right.
feel like it'll be worth it if I just take my time and make, because trying to do all the stuff freehand is a little challenging. So I'm cheating, and I have my paint pens
Mm-hmm.
to do
Yeah,
the
that's
stripes and do the dots, and
Yep.
yeah. So I've got it like these, and then I have all of these. You know,
Yeah.
I got a bunch. So
Okay.
Nice.
and a lot of their color schemes were like they would have like a bold color, then like a white or something a little less bold,
Mm-hmm.
then some sort of geometric pattern and dots and polka dots and chevrons and anything you can think of they had on their pants, and their shirts and stuff. So to get it to have that look that I'm going for,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to take some time. And that's why, I mean, I think this project by itself will take me all of next year, just because of the slow pace of the process. And I'm really, I think maybe it might speed up after I get a couple of units done, because then I'll have my method down.
Yeah.
See.
Right.
But yeah,
That makes
I got a bunch of books with a bunch of different plates on it. Actually, I had one guy on my YouTube channel. He sent me an idea for a book, and I got it the other. And it's excellent. It's an excellent book. And sorry, I don't have it down here with me, but the last name of the guy is Esposito, like
Oh, okay.
Gabrielle Esposito, and it's very interesting. I guess he does other ancient historical periods, and he gives you different color plates. He shows you a picture of reenactors in uniform and stuff, so you kind of get an idea of what's going on. I bought a whole bunch of other stuff from Wargames Atlantic. They've got their First Empire set, which has Persians in it, which I'm going to make into all like Allied troops and stuff like that. So I got 2 lots of that. And are you aware that you can order that stuff through Walmart?
What stuff?
Really?
Wargames Atlantic. I got this. I saw that, and I thought, Walmart?
Online, yeah.
Yeah, online, and I think it's kind of set up kind of like an eBay thing where there's like a third party seller.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But you go through the Walmart app, and it brings up like Warlord Games and all kinds of stuff.
Amazon does that too, but I didn't know that.
Is that
Walmart
something
does.
they deliver to you, or you have to go pick it up?
Yeah,
Yeah, they deliver it, and most of it's free. A lot of times, free.
Yeah,
shipping.
I had it delivered to me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
They're competing with Amazon.
They are trying
because that's what Amazon's done that for a long time. The third party thing, like you're talking about.
Oh
yeah.
Oh,
but that's cool though. That's cool that you can do it from
that's
Walmart.
just one more option that I didn't know that I had.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had
Interesting.
quite the selection. But
cool.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. I got a game set up, a solo game set up, but I'm kind of working through some stuff that I want to talk to you guys about it, not on the show, but like privately. I want to go over some ideas I've got and some before I bring it up and stuff. So we'll do that.
Cool.
We'll do that after the show or some other time. I'll send you some questions and stuff and some photos, and we can talk about it and stuff. So
nice.
But that's about it. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah,
that's good.
Wasn't bad.
Well, Rusty, how about you? What's going on in the Hellcrix universe?
In the Hellcar, the Axe universe.
Nebula.
Well, not much. I drained the soul life out of me with my hobby gear. Well, obviously we had the holidays, then the big storm and all that put a damper on motivation. I spent a lot of time out shoveling snow and moving snow on Saturday, and then when you was moving around that stuff, it was like about 4 to 5 inches of it was just slush underneath it, and trying to move that around. It's like I had 2 days where I couldn't even paint because my hands were like,
Oh man.
Yeah.
moving around. The old snowblower was like, it's like,
I know that feeling. We've got our fair share of snow here.
so that kind of puts a damper on it. I did some assembly stuff. I assembled a bunch of dwarves and some models. It'd be easier just to show them. They're in the first stages of being worked on. But some people might appreciate these guys. That is Vulcan, the Primarch of the Salamanders for 30K.
Nice.
So that's a Forge World model.
Yep.
But it took me about 2 days to put him together. So, all the cleaning and all that stuff. So while one was sitting in the vat being cleaned and I was working on the next one, this is Rogel. Ooh, that fell off. Rogel Dorn of the Imperial Fist.
Okay.
Cool.
So I got to do a little bit of work on him. Another Forge World model.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another Forge World model. There's a theme here. Another Imperial Fist is a Signison. I think it's
Sure. Yeah. That's a nice one. I like that one.
Yeah.
He's like the Blade Master.
So, yeah, he's the Blade Master of the Imperial Fist. That's like the captain or something, one of the captains. And then this is Darius, I think his name is. And he's in another. I think he's in Cataphract armor. So he's another Imperial Fist leader type. I have him, and there's another one that's over there that's sitting on the. I should have brought him over, but he's assembled. But I didn't get to prime him because, well, yesterday the weather went south quickly, and it dropped down. It's like been low 20s for most of the day. Yesterday it was freezing temperatures too, so can't prime in the cold. But I did some playing around. We got some Ballards that are for BattleTech.
Okay.
These are like the things inserts that go into pill bottles. You know.
Okay.
You get the big bags.
Oh yeah.
And, it keeps the moisture out of the pills. So I have a whole bunch of these, and I glued them together, and they're supposed to be Ballards for BattleTech. And that's this nice yellow is what's the Ultimate Imperial Fist yellow. It's the contrast point paint. So I got 15 of those things I got to paint up. And I also have on the table dwarvies.
Yeah. Saw you working on that.
I got a bunch of little dwarves. There are a whole bunch on the table right here.
Nice.
That's what I'll be working on tonight is dwarves.
More than 7.
Yes.
Really?
Times 7.
Yeah.
What you drinking tonight, Rusty? What are you wetting your whistle with?
All right. The 12-year-old Pendleton Rye.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I have had that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to try that one.
1910 product of, this is Canada, right? Yeah.
Nice.
I believe so.
Bottled and distilled, and what is this? Where in Canada?
Dang it.
Looks like Hood River.
What's the 2 initials for the province that they show? Does it say?
OR.
OR.
Oregon.
That's Oregon.
That says product to Canada.
That's going to become our what is
Hood
it?
River, Oregon.
How many? Our extra province.
It's
Yeah.
bottled by Hood River Distilleries,
Reverse annexation.
but it's distilled in Canada.
Just in general, Canada.
Interesting.
It's distilled in Canada and then bottled in Oregon.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's probably maybe it's
enough.
BC. Maybe it's BC if it's that close.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Oh, terrific.
Had a nice pop.
Sounds like Tim's in some sort of a struggle there.
He could use some of your Canadian rye there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these Persians are going to drive me to drink.
Well, there's nothing worse than drinking without friends.
so you don't have that excuse. Yep.
Yeah.
So how about you, Dan? What's going on in Farmer Dan's world?
I'm back on the Bretonian train.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Yes, that's been fun. I'm working there's not much to be able to see that I've got here, but I'm working on
Oh, yeah.
another The
Nice.
lighting's horrible, but
Yeah.
Knight Errant, these are the 5th edition. And this is the musician. I've done 3 nights.
Mhm.
And then I'm cleaning up. I'll probably work on that tonight. The champion, and then I've got the standard bearer here that I'll do next. So I'll have 6 done, and
Nice.
I'll eventually want to bulk them out to 10. I've got the models, but I think then I'll move on to a couple other things for the army. But there it is. It's magical.
It's another bottle of it.
Oh, there you go. It's like a full.
This is the special edition one that's for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
good call.
nice.
I like it.
So from Canada, made in Canada, bought in Oregon, but sent over as a special edition to Minnesota.
Exactly.
It's a lot of cooperation. Yeah, that's good. That's nice.
Unusual.
Very unusual.
So Dan, you got your knights going. You got your musician.
Yep. And it's I'm doing the Knights Errant now. I've had the models for a long time, but they're the 5th edition ones, and I'm
Mhm.
continuing with my same kind of way I'm doing it, where they each have their own heraldry, but being Knights Errant, at least in the 5th edition, they didn't have blazons. They
Okay.
literally were just colors, and
Mhm.
so they're very simple. But I'm not having each one be their own thing.
Okay.
So that's been nice to kind of have something a little bit simpler to get back into that. And
Mhm.
I might do a standard bearer. I've got the
You
5th
don't have
edition metal one.
You have the Army standard bearer?
I have the 5th edition one, the Joan of Arc model,
Okay.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. So I've got
Mhm.
that one. I actually bought that one back in like 97. It was in the discount bin in Dragon's Lair, which is a hobby shop in Omaha.
Yeah. I
And
think I've
so
been to that one.
I bought it back when it was that it was the current edition. So, but so I'm doing that, and I reached out to Rusty yesterday. We're gonna definitely get together in January and get a game of Old World in.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I threw it out. I said, "Do you want to do 5th edition or Old World?" And he kind of went with Old World. So then
Yeah.
I'll start kind of. So I'll paint up, maybe before then have another something. Well, I want to paint like the standard bearer, and because there's different things that are more important in Old World than 5th edition. So so it'd be good to get them on the table, roll some dice, and my buddy Mark in Atlantic near me, he does waterfowl hunting, and that's wrapped up now with the weather change, and so I'm hoping in the next within the next month we'll get a bolt action game in again. So
that'd be awesome.
so I'm back in the gaming painting cell and having a blast painting, and so it's at this time of year it's nice to be snuggled in the old basement.
It must feel when you don't do it for a while that as the weather gets cold and you go to your painting spot that it's just real cozy and comfortable.
It is
kind of
cozy
feeling like an old friend,
Yeah, it is, and it's just I pick right up where I left off, and I'm really excited. I've got tons of models on the shelf that I can work on. So it's going to be a Bretonian winter for sure.
Awesome. Well, that's
definitely when the weather is cold. It's like 12 degrees right now.
Yeah, boy, and that wind this afternoon was brutal. But,
no kidding.
So lots of that going on. I'll be sure to post up some pictures here now on the Facebook group so you can see what I got going with the Bretonians.
Awesome.
Now,
awesome.
the question I have, do you need any extra Bretonians to fill out a force, or you have plenty?
I have more than I need probably. Although there's always certain things that are like, what do you have? You mean like some of the 6th edition stuff or what?
Oh, I got the latest stuff that in the box that they sold. So.
Oh yeah,
well, I got the Pegasus Knights and stuff like that.
Well, I keep toying with, and I keep looking on eBay. You can get the Pegasus Knights, sets of 3 of them, fairly reasonable because a lot of people did buy the starter box and didn't want.
Yeah, they're selling them off.
Selling them off. But I've got 4 of the metal Pegasus Knights, so from 5th edition. So I'll use 3 for a unit, and I'll use 1 for either my Army General or a standard bearer. So kind of trying to stick a little bit old school as much as I can, just because that's what I enjoy and I love the models. But you got some you're looking to get rid of, huh?
Well, I was just debating if
it's like keep toying with the idea of
actually painting the army, because I was going to paint the Bretonians next, and then we got all these dwarves, so now I went into dwarf mode. So it's like, okay,
dwarf
mode.
So I've been painting dwarves upon more dwarves. Eventually, I'll get these done, and I'll move on to the Bretonians.
Make short work of them, Rusty.
Yeah, very short.
Very short work.
we're going to be close to getting our updates done in a half hour, which is great. Because we can maybe do 2 topics tonight. That would be cool.
Weird.
Oh, so, by the way,
I'll try not to take too much time up. I'm going to start, since I'm number 4. I'm reversing. I'm starting with the Musty drink first, so I can take a sip.
There you go.
I've got the Black Bridge Brewery, a beer tonight that I'd never had these before, but I really like them. And they are brewed in Saskatchewan, which
if you never had them before, how do you know you like them?
No. Sorry, there's a pack of 8 of these cans, and I've been drinking them, but I never had them prior to that. So I got a big box of 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the Pseudo Lager is what it's called. And it's actually from Saskatchewan. I don't think I don't think I've had too many beers from Saskatchewan before, so that's kind of cool.
Was it bottled in Iowa?
River City.
Riverside, Iowa.
It actually was made in Mexico, but bottled in Texas and purchased in Canada.
And imported from China. There we go.
That's right.
There we go.
Anyway.
It's an eclectic world taste.
Yeah.
It's a true world drink.
I think Rusty mentioned BattleTech when he mentioned his yellow pill.
Yeah.
What are they called? The
Ballards.
Moisture reducers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which now you need to increase the moisture in your.
Or we'll dry up.
Yes. So that's actually not bad. I really like this beer.
Oh.
Anyways, I have been. What did I do? So I painted those knights, which I kind of showed. And I did 2 more of those Japanese trees about the same size, those red maples that I showed. So I'm actually done with the red maples for now because they're kind of large trees. I'm going to actually go to cherry blossoms next, and I'm going to do some terrain for Test of Honor. And what I'm working on tonight is those civilians for Dark Ages. I've already started them, and I'm working on those. And that's like my painting stuff.
What manufacturer are they?
These are Gripping Beast. And
okay.
I started this guy. This is a teenager. He's like my favorite because he's a teenager. I'll just show him here. But he's not like, I don't have much to show other than lighting is really poor here. I can't really give a good picture, but he's compared to like this guy, which is a peasant next to him. You can see he's he's not a child, but he's like a young adult, like this sort of like 15-year-old or something, or 12-year-old. And I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. And I already have some animals to use for loot because I'm painting these mostly for pillage. Oh, it looks like we got Chris in the house. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
And so, so I'm painting those up, and then I'm like really looking forward to it. I had a game on Josh's Sword and Sake. Oh no, he didn't put it on YouTube. We did it over Discord, but we played a game on Discord of Test of Honor.
That. Yeah.
And that was fun. And so I am psyched to play that. So I've got a stack of Test of Honor miniatures that I want to paint after I get these done. And then I'm going to just go back and forth. I'm going to start my Vikings that I purchased. my Dark Age Vikings after and just do those back and forth. I actually just finished watching Shogun, the more recent one that came out.
Nice.
And so that was really nice for inspiration for the Test of Honor. Now I'm going to go back and watch Vikings again, the whole series, and because I always like that show as well. So I can get.
What do you think of Shogun?
You know, I will watch the next season because I liked it. And I do think I'd like to watch the original series again. I know they're very different, but I was too young when I watched it to compare them. Like I just can't compare them. I have only good memories of watching the original Shogun in the 80s, but I don't know how it stands up now, like that this many years later and as an adult watching it because I was pretty young. I'm not a huge fan of like one of the main actors, like the guy that plays the Englishman. And so I'm a little like, I don't know, like he wasn't my favorite actor in it, like, you know, his performance of it. But the rest of the show was so good, like the story and like all of it, that I just kind of like, it is what it is, you know? And having said that, I think I liked it more towards the end. Like, I think toward, as the show moved on, I liked the way he portrayed the character a little more. I just found, for some reason, it took me a bit to kind of like him as a character on the show. And so,
well, to be honest, I can't remember the actor that did the
original,
the new one.
Oh, the new one, yeah. Well, I never knew his name because I don't really know who he is, but I just, I didn't like his character initially, and you know, I don't know, he portrayed the barbarian nature of the Englishmen going over, because they call them barbarians, and like that he portrayed the nature pretty well, but he was just like, I don't know, it was pretty rough. He was pretty rough around the edges, you know, in the beginning, and maybe that's just the story that they were going for. But I just struggled a little bit with it. But overall, I'm actually wondering whether the second season's going to be kind of like Dune 1 and 2. Like Dune was actually a huge culmination, the second one after the first, the origin, and it was a lot of action, and they even foreshadowed in this stuff that's going to happen in the next one, and it made me think, well, you know, this could be like Dune a bit, like the next one could be quite a bit different after the origin piece. So I don't know, that's my long answer. But gaming, I put a lot up on Facebook recently. I've been doing a lot of gaming. Really what happened is I didn't game at all last week, and because we had a lot of snow, and I just sort of canceled a couple of games. And so I did Rumble Slam, I did Saga, and also Adeptus Titanicus, all within 2 days.
Good grief.
And it was good. I had a lot of fun, but I'm kind of done for the week now. And actually, I'm not going to be gaming that much up through the new year, too much more. So it's actually going to be, I'm going to have my oldest daughter's coming back from school, and I just going to have family coming in and just lots going on over the holidays. So I'm not going to be gaming much for a bit.
That's fair.
Anyway, that's me. So it took a little longer than I thought I would there. You guys will have to take me outside and beat me up.
Will do.
Take me out back. Anyways, so we have this topic tonight, and Tim, I'm going to rely on you to your preference, kind of introduce them in the way that you would like. But the first one I think we were going to do was the one from last week, and or the last time that we didn't get to, and that's your go-to game. Was there a way you wanted to? Did you, rather than just keeping it that simple, did you want to maybe introduce it?
Well, I don't know.
What's your go-to game? What's your go-to game? Okay,
my go-to game, and is what I'm really into now is like I've always been, is Hail Caesar. I just like the way it plays out. I like its variations that you can do. I like how you can kind of add and subtract things from the game the way you want to, and without really destroying it, the basic concepts, because it was designed with an umpire in mind, like somebody making decisions that wasn't actually playing the game, you know,
like a game master.
Like kind of like a game master. So that leaves, because they designed it that way, it opens up for a variety of add-ons that you can do without really changing the way the game plays. But like I said, I've been playing it gaming wise. I've just been playing a lot of the Epic ACW, the Glory Hallelujah, and that's been a lot of fun. But if push comes to shove, I would pick a Hail Caesar game only because it's my favorite time periods. It checks all the boxes for me personally. You know, it does. That's.
Well, tell us more about why it does.
It's just always been my interest. It's
so it's the period, or is it something about the rule mechanics?
Oh, the rule mechanics are like I said, they're very solid in their basic concepts. So, and like I said, it was designed with an umpire in mind. So that gives you like some freedom to add and subtract some things that you would like to put into the game. There's just that flexibility of the game itself is what I really like, and I would go to it because it's straightforward. It plays quickly, even though it's a large battle game. And you can make them as big as you want, and they still go by fairly quickly. I've had games where we've covered up the table with miniatures, and it went just about as fast as a game with only like a couple of divisions aside, and so I really enjoy it. I just do. It's just my go-to. But like I said, I play a lot of other things, but if I have to pick one, that's what I would go to. Just because all my reading and the literature that I have, most of it centers around, medieval time period and later or earlier, and it's just what I enjoy. It really does. It checks all my boxes. But
and you were, when this topic came up, when you first introduced it, I remember it was a while ago now that you first introduced it, but I still remember you saying, I noticed that a lot of people that I watch, like in that game, seem to have a go-to game. You know what I mean? Like you were talking about it from that perspective. Like you were noticing
most people do. Like if you say, and here's an easy test. You say, we're going to get together and game this weekend. What do you want to do? And if you have a group where there's several different players, you could get several different answers of what they want to do.
Right.
And each one of them will pick their favorite game.
Yeah.
And or what they have the most of, which will also be probably their favorite time period, and therefore with the rules of the game that they enjoy. Yeah. So it all kind of falls in line. If this is your favorite thing, then you're going to have more of those miniatures. You're going to have more of the terrain. You're going to have all that kind of stuff. You may have other projects and stuff, but basically that's going to be where you're going to go if you're given the choice.
Yeah.
And that may be the qualifier. If you're given the choice of picking the game for your group, what game do you pick? I'm going to pick the game I like the most.
Yeah.
You have to rotate from person to person. All right, this week you choose, next week you choose.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that if that's what we're talking about. But if it's just you, Rusty, your choice. What do you pick?
Yeah.
BattleTech if he's thirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
You know, my mind just went another direction because I have like younger kids and like thirsty has a whole new meaning these days.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's funny.
Wow.
Anyways.
Alrighty.
Wow.
Well, obviously you guys know what it means because I thought it was something that I didn't know. Anyways, Rusty, you want to just do comment? Can I just do comments real quick?
Go ahead.
Here we go. We don't have too many. Oh yeah, which actually it's just one after the hellos and stuff. But Chris says Mighty Empire style games like HC and BP. So I'm assuming Hail Caesar Black Powder are great, especially when you have a game master. Yeah, so that's what he was saying. That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it lends itself to that kind of creativity. Even if you don't have a game master or an umpire, it allows you, without destroying the rule set, to be creative and add stuff, take stuff out.
Yeah, they're very flexible rules. That's why they can use them for such a wide range. I mean, time period.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, medieval ancients.
Oh yeah.
And it works. I mean, you can use it clear up through the 100 Years' War. It's like, wow.
Oh yeah. Easily.
Yeah, very comfortably.
So
you guys want to? Oh, go ahead, Tim.
No, I'm just really thrilled with it. I've got some other rule set. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but oh shoot, I shouldn't even brought it up because now I can't. I'm just can't think of it now. Great Escape Games made a set of ancient rules, and
which one?
They had several books. They had
not like Sword Point or
no, it's not that. It's not that. These were hardback books in the guise of old Games Workshop hardback army books and stuff. They had 4 of them. There was ones that deals with the Greek and Persian wars. They had one with the Vikings.
Okay.
Oh God. So I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up, but it's just one that sticks in my mind because there were several things in that set of rules that I really enjoyed. About that. And its only drawback was that when they came out with these, it was right at the time when there was just so many rule sets coming out.
Yeah, lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, and it was another great set of rules. God, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up because they're in the other room. I could go get them, but they're great books, and they do it like like the Warhammer historical stuff.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day when they had that? It's kind of like that, but with some different aspects to it. Very nice books, well done books. But
they have a
was it Field of Glory? It wasn't Field of Glory. No,
that's a whole different set of rules.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Which I didn't mind those either. Your army construction was completely different in that. It was all based on the number of bases and stuff like that. It was different. Yeah. That's one of those rule sets I could see, like, if you're going to get into it, you need to be into it. It needs to be because I have a whole bunch of their books and they're all well done books. Their base rule sets are well done. But they're ones you need to dedicate some time and effort to.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you just play for a little bit, put it away, and then come back to it again at some point in time because there's a whole lot to it.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's a whole lot to it, it lends itself to a very satisfying, long involvement with it. Like with Hail Caesar, I can play pike and shot. I can play like Hail Caesar and Clash of Eagles.
Was it Sword and Spear?
No. It had something Empires and stuff, but it was from Great Escape Games, and it was before they did all this other stuff.
Okay.
It was the kind of one of the very first things they did. I tell you what, you guys talk.
You go find it.
Huh?
Clash of Empires?
Clash of Empires was one of them. Then Ravens something was the Vikings.
Age of Ravens, Rise and Fall of Persia, Kingdom of Heaven.
Yes. Yeah. I have all those, and they're pretty good books. They're pretty good. They have that Warhammer historical stuff kind of going with them, but they're well done.
Just
they
didn't get traction.
Huh?
I think I had.
They didn't get traction.
Yeah, they're good books. They just didn't get a lot of traction because of all the other stuff that was just because remember, like right after Games Workshop pulled their stunt with the Old World, people were thirsty for a replacement, and people were cranking this stuff out. And I think that what happened was there was just it came out. I think it was well received, but yet the next new thing just kept coming out, and then before you knew it,
it was old
it's
news.
It's like watching the news during the week. The lead story on Monday is dead by Wednesday because 3 other important things have already shoved it out the door.
Right.
So the same thing probably happened to this rule set. I was a fan of it. I really enjoyed it. But I'd still pick Hail Caesar, as a go-to. Just because
that's Rick Priestley, right?
Do what?
Yeah.
Rick Priestley.
Yes.
Did Hail Caesar, yeah. I mean, that's a good pedigree.
All hail the great Rick Priestley. So
yeah.
He's been everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Rick Priestley?
Yeah.
Who's Rick? Yeah. And you call yourself a gamer?
Yeah, my God.
How dare you even bring that up?
Did you have anything to do with BattleTech?
Jesus Christ.
Javers, yeah. Whoa.
So
we have to take the whiskey away from him.
Rusty, you want to go next? I have a feeling I might know what you're going to say, but do you want to go next? Maybe you can surprise me. Surprise me.
Okay. All right. Moving on. So, since you already decided what I'm going to say,
no. Go ahead. Go
just
say
stay
it.
silent.
Say it.
All right. The go-to game has always been
Monopoly.
There you go. No, Parcheesi. Come on.
There you go.
Parcheesi.
My bad.
Parcheesi.
Parcheesi. And from New York City. Yeah, it's usually BattleTech. That's my go-to time period of gaming for the most part. Sci-fi is my first choice.
Science fiction, though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Science fiction is usually my jam. I've always been a sci-fi guy.
Oh, you like the astronomy and all that stuff too.
Yeah. It's just the nature of the beast, literally.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have so many. I never lock myself down though to one genre, which is pretty obvious as I'm painting dwarves right now. I love fantasy. Sci-fi and fantasy are my two things I always like. I love reading, watching movies, or anything. It's like, but if you have to ask me for game wise, it's always going to be BattleTech. That's my first love. Really, but my first foray into gaming was always, it's like fantasy.
Well, that's what I didn't know. If that was if science fiction or fantasy was your real go-to.
Yeah. Now, I really like the BattleTech universe because it has a lot of. It was fleshed out. You had a lot of history, books, and all that fun stuff long before there was everything that ever came out of the Warhammer world. Today you have so many Warhammer books. Like for 40K, and 30K, there's tons of books.
There's tons of books.
But back in the day, when you think about BattleTech, there were tons of BattleTech books before there was even Warhammer books. And a lot of people don't realize that.
No,
I did not.
Yeah,
I'm amongst them.
Yes, I can imagine if Clark's still in the house here, you can probably testify to that too. Is that there was a very large library of BattleTech. Then you think about if we continue down the same vein of sci-fi, I do enjoy the Warhammer universe too. When it comes to
Horus Heresy.
Yeah, Horus Heresy is my first experience with the Heresy was with Epic. And just today, when I was doing my workout, I was watching one of Josh's, came back, it popped up in my feed of the old Epic battle where he had faced off, he had his orcs versus humans. They had the Emperor Titan versus the Great Gargant. And they were throwing dice at each other galore. That was cool. And
buckets.
I watched it before, and I was like, I got to watch this again.
Josh does some really nice battle reports.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like every once in a while I'll watch that kind of stuff. But that's one thing, though, when it comes to BattleTech reports, I haven't really found them to be all that great. I kind of lose interest.
Well, you need to get on that. Well, and it's funny. Actually, some games are more fun to play than to watch. I have noticed that.
Yeah. And I have to admit, that's one thing about the BattleTech reports is that I'd rather throw the dice than I'll make my reports with mine. But it's one of those deals where I try to, do a little postage stamp of what happened in the game. But
yeah,
it's one of those things that just there's something missing in the reports.
Although
what about you?
Go ahead.
What about you, Dan?
Well, okay. First of all, what exactly is the question?
What is your?
Is it my go-to?
Game? The game that if you have to think about what you want to play, and most often, like what is that game always going to be?
Oh well, for me, I mean, it's bolt action, obviously, but
yeah.
Although that's potentially somewhat changing. We'll see. It looks like this winter I should be able to get some more games in. I've got some things that are changing a little bit for me. That's going to make it easier to game now. So, but anyway, I will have to say, bolt action. And if you had asked me before 3rd edition came out, which I know I'm not going to beat it again, but I would have definitely said that. Although, I get really excited about other games, and some games, and it's funny because when I was younger, and when I mean younger, I guess I'm saying like in my teens, I was more interested in fantasy, of course, World War II, but fantasy and medieval. Like painting miniatures, that's what I was interested in. But I know when I got a little bit older, after the internet was out and stuff, and because we didn't have hobby shops, so I couldn't really see games or talk to people about it. But I would watch, even yet, a lot of times when I watch medieval games, it's pretty enough on the table, but the game to me doesn't look that fun. I mean, and I don't mean that as a knock on anybody, or it doesn't quite grab me. But I love the pageantry, of the medieval armies and the troop types and the history, and I like all that part. But to me, I haven't for what I probably would enjoy in a game. It doesn't translate as well.
Barons were.
Yeah, I know. I've thought about that. It's still, and I have the rules.
You don't think that would be change your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't say because I haven't played it. I've watched some games of it. It's been a long time, so I should look at it again closer. But I think the biggest, but it's interesting because of course I've painted Bretonians for Warhammer Fantasy, and then we got those couple games in of the old world, and now that I liked. Now that, but so I'm not sure what it is. I think some of the ones where they try to make it very real, where it's basically just kind of this push match where you're pushing, and which was what a lot of medieval battles or ancient battles kind of were.
Push each other around until one side got exhausted.
Got exhausted, or somebody flanked them or something. It's it doesn't have like the mass maneuvers, and I like the, of course, Warhammer, introduces all kinds of fantastical and magic and flying creatures and, lots of things to make that different. But I think World War II is still why it comes back to me, because in a game, the terrain is hugely important. And see, when you get into some of those large scale battles, it seems like the terrain is more kind of setting or kind of eye candy, because you can't really maneuver, troops and movement trays into the woods. And so you kind of jumble it around, or you pull the trees off, and it kind of loses some of the effect. But like in bolt action, where it's, essentially, it's essentially a large scale skirmish game, essentially. I mean, you can have 100 guys on a side easily enough, but each guy is an individual guy, and you're actually trying to get up next to that rock. And because I guess it takes me back to when I was a kid and we used to play, we called it playing Army Men, where we would, whether you had toy guns or sticks, and we would pretend, my brothers and I would be, we'd be, whatever, Marines or I don't know what, and we'd be just pretending to shoot the enemy, but, and advancing through the grove and, attacking the barn or whatever. And it had that feel to it where where you could really sort of almost role playing, I think, is what bolt action can kind of do.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it combines all the things that I enjoy, and even as far as the hobby, like being able to, where the terrain is critically important, and being able to stay in the miniatures up in the rubble. All that actually means something, and you get in close and personal. And then I like World War II history a lot. So probably my go-to period would actually be World War II. And there's so much you can do with it, whether you're in the Pacific or in the snow or on the beaches, or, there's just a million and different nationalities. And
you have the mechanized combat. The mechanized combat is fun. I mean, like having, even though it's not like in bolt action, like meant to be the bread and butter of it, it's still really fun. It's thematic.
It's in it. Yeah,
it's thematic to have tanks coming in and around a corner.
Yeah. Well, and even if, I like it best where there's like maybe one tank and maybe like one self-propelled artillery piece, as far as
absolutely.
Or a couple half tracks or something. And it just brings that whole like Saving Private Ryan or
Fury.
Yeah. that one
gives
was
that
a little hard.
narrative.
But it gives the narrative, and it does embrace all those things. And that's when those, you look at the World War II tanks now, and they look, well, the Sherman in particular, or a Stuart, they look like, I mean, we drive cars that are bigger than that, and probably even would be more
big old SUV.
Yeah, and but it's very real and tangible, and sort of just rough around the edges, and I don't know, you can kind of embrace that. For me, it works. But yeah, for me, World War II is probably be my go-to. I'd play any, especially smaller scale World War II, and bolt action is still my favorite, I think.
Cool. That's good. I remember for a big part of the history of our show, you were painting terrain for it. So
yeah,
like you were doing like the Russian terrain.
Yeah,
like,
it's still sitting on my table behind me here,
exactly.
under a sheet, so it doesn't get full of dust. But yeah, I love making the terrain.
Chris says, look at Martin's seventh son. He's used it for so many different periods. He must be talking about, huh?
Hail Caesar he's talking about, yeah.
Hail Caesar, okay.
Yeah, Seventh Son's channel is top notch.
Yeah, absolutely.
If people don't watch it, they should.
I actually got introduced to it through the medieval stuff because he does pillage. He has done pillage as well as maybe Baron's War too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and what's the samurai one you do, Palmer?
Test of Honor.
I think he does Test of Honor as well.
Okay, yeah.
And he has beautiful tables. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you seen how he tells everybody how he makes his tables?
I saw he had a video up, but I missed it because I was kind of nervous and stuff.
It's really interesting. It's like he has this stuff that he puts underneath this big cloth, and then he just he just sprinkles on
he's
his
got buckets of
scatter
stuff.
terrain and stuff.
Yeah,
so, and then he just picks it up and dumps it all back
in the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, I think what a cool idea.
Yeah,
that's something that we've done around here for decades. Where you put all the stuff underneath all the hills in it, and you put the cloth, and then they take the sand and the gravel and they put it all over it. And then when it's all said and done, you just grab the corners and go, and they go shake it and do a big pile, and then pour it back into and they got a big tray bucket.
Yep,
it just pours it right back in.
It's like playing in the sandbox.
Literally.
Chris says, I bought, I think, every book for Bolt Action second 5 months after I bought the last book, Boom, new edition.
Yeah.
Had flashbacks of GW.
I should have given you a heads up. I knew it was coming out.
I did the same, actually. I bought second edition right before.
Yeah, because I just bought the news. Found out there was the new German book for second edition, and they turned around as soon as I bought that, then they announced third edition.
Yeah.
Well, go, darn it. I
struggle at this point in time, at this point of the year, and this point of the time of my gaming. I struggle a little bit with this because I think that in many times in my hobby career, I would have easily answered what my go-to game was, because there would be a time when it was absolutely 40K because it was the only thing I played, like when I first started back into the hobby again. But then after I started to get into historical skirmishes, it would have definitely been Musket and Tomahawks.
Oh yeah.
And then the last year and a half, and I played a lot of games throughout all of this. And the last year and a half, I've really focused on, maybe 2 years now, Old World.
Yep.
But now I'm like on this kick where I'm trying all these other different things now. But I've also, even though it's never been my number one, Saga is probably the one I've played the most throughout the years, because it's just an easy game to play, and like just a lot of people I know would play it, and I've always enjoyed it. I think that if I had a gun to my head and somebody said, like, what's your go-to game, I probably would say that Studio Tomahawks games, both Saga and Musket and Tomahawks, are probably the ones that I've played the most over my time, and the ones that I go back to and think about, like, it's something I'll always play again. And I do like those. And so that's probably what I'd say. I mean, I actually am really having fun with Adeptus Titanicus right now. And I'm really looking forward to playing the Dark Ages and the new rule sets, the Dark Ages and the Test of Honor that's coming up. But as I'm taking a little bit of a break from Old World. But yeah, no, that's probably what I would say. My favorite. It's not that much different from historical period. Oh, Rusty, sorry, I wasn't looking. Yeah, you got your box that you're doing here.
Yep. Nice.
Awesome.
The little guys.
Highly recommend it. Because I heard that Rusty is actually not just doing Imperialis, but also is doing Adeptus Titanicus. If that sounds like that's your plan.
Well, yeah, they kind of work together.
You get both of them.
You can use them in both games.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I opened up the box today, and I noticed
your command terminal.
Yeah, I always heard about it in the game. It's like I was looking at it. It's in here somewhere.
It's in here somewhere. Famous last words.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool. So they got these little command cards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you use your terminal for your So that's and so
cool.
Anyways, I think it's going to change over time, but
oh yeah, me too.
But,
sure.
like, for me, but I think that would be my answer. I suppose, like, out of all the games I played, out of the 3 games I played this week, the only one that I've been playing for 8 years is Saga. The others I've only started playing this year. So.
Well, Bill, another question we can even talk about another time, but like, so what are your favorite miniatures to paint?
Yeah, that's true. We should think about
some
that.
Some people paint just to play, and some people would paint regardless of if they're going to play, and then why that, Anyway, another one.
No, I think that's a great. That's also it's a very different question in some ways. Like, I think people decide sometimes what their favorite thing is, and it incorporates everything, like, that goes into it. And a lot of times, like, your favorite miniatures to paint, like, you're going to end up with a lot of them. So you're going to have to find a game for it, in which case you're going to play a lot of games in that area. And then your favorite game is going to be something that you like to paint. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like it could happen that way. Like,
it could, or you can't find anybody to play, but you really
paint.
like painting the miniatures and you paint them anyway,
Yeah, true.
Or you love painting them, but you paint the other ones just to play.
It's kind of a bit of a torture sentence if you decide that your favorite game to play is the game that you absolutely hate to paint the miniatures for.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
Yeah, no joke. That would be painful.
You put the least amount of effort into that. It's like, I'll be honest, I don't put a lot of effort into my BattleTech miniatures.
You don't like to paint them, you mean, or you just what?
I don't mind painting them. I just don't put a lot of effort into them, like I do with, let's say, Fantasy Army.
Why is that?
They're not. Well, they're
blocky steel things.
Yeah.
So you can't.
You're talking about something that's.
It's a box with arms and legs.
Yeah, you look at all the detail you find on one of these, and the other ones are just block slab armor. It's like,
oh, but you could paint all kinds of markings and stuff on them, and
that's.
Yeah, no, I just was asking. I'm not.
Yeah,
you could use a nano laser and make little bits of graffiti that's actual 2 scale.
Yeah, 2 scale. Yeah, you could do nose art.
You can't see it. You can't see it with the naked eye, but it's there.
Painted nose art on your mechs.
I put more effort in painting 6mm epic vehicles than I do in BattleTech.
Fair enough.
Chris says Martin is a great guy, and I have some of his miniatures had sculpted for a medieval War of the Roses.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had them commissioned. Yeah. I was tempted to get one just to support him, but
favorite period is World War II to paint as well. But I'm enjoying painting my Klingon ships that I designed and printed at the moment. Well, that's cool.
No
it's always
way.
good to do something different.
It's fun.
I always think of Starfleet battles when I think of Klingon.
Get to be creative. That's nice work too. That's a part of the hobby.
We're caught up on comments as well as most through this topic, first one. We actually have lots of time. I actually think tonight's one of those nights where we could probably do a second topic if you guys are up for it. It's only 9:11, 9:10.
You bet.
The next one, this was Tim's suggestion, and it was scale creep, Tim, right? And how it affects gaming. Did you want to open some thoughts on that? That one was a bit more recent that you suggested.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, I was looking at my Persians that I have on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I put them next to some warlord Greeks, and they're just so much beefier. They're bigger. They're more. I use the term robust. They're just. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering somewhere down the line that this sort of creep into these bigger, more detailed models are kind of taking some people and they're saying, I can get just as much enjoyment playing these 15 millimeter, 13 millimeter size dudes as opposed to painting all the intricate detail on some big buffy 28 millimeter model. And I was just wondering if you think there's a connection between, we've seen this scale creep over time, and is the natural response to that is to go smaller. It's like our own personal pendulum swings back, where like we rebel against the super duper large scale all of a sudden makes us look at these smaller scales, and therefore people want them, so therefore companies makes them, and then people just start playing the games and the rules come along. Do you think there's a connection between this? Because like, which one of those games at Games Workshop where the big stompy robots are like really big, like they used to be like
Apocalypse, where
whatever,
well, like
Warhammer Epic scale. It was 6
mil. Yeah, that's the reaction to the other extreme that they.
Rusty. He's talking about like the actual Titans that you buy.
Yeah,
like the ones that are like take up your whole desk.
Yeah, and the games that go along with that.
Yeah, that's like Apocalypse.
You're talking about 40K.
Well, what isn't there like? Don't they have like a big stompy robot game?
Well, you can use the small scale Adeptus Titanicus and like Epic with the bigger scale. Like some people do that, but it's not designed for that. But Apocalypse, Warhammer 40K Apocalypse was meant to play mass battles with huge stuff like Titans too. So I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're talking about.
That when you begin to look at stuff on the table, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, that makes your table and tables smaller.
Yeah.
How many of those can you put on a 4x8 table or a 4x6? Not very many.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start talking vehicles and all that kind of stuff. They keep getting bigger and chunkier, and I don't know. What I'm saying, I'm not complaining about that if that's what you like. That's not the issue. The question is, do you think that there is a pendulum swing in people's desires for something smaller because things have crept up so large?
There's a good possibility with that, where you're seeing more of the resurgence of the like epic scale style games, where people want to play battles, but they don't want to have massive You're still buying a lot of miniatures, but you're not paying a lot for those little miniatures.
See, I think that's what's happening. See, like in particular, Games Workshop, they're a miniature company first, and they are known to be like a premier. Like if you want the best, and everybody has different opinions of that. And I'm not a GW fanboy or anything, but they're highly respected, highly detailed miniatures, and to jam in more detail, I think that is
necessarily
their thing,
needs to be
is to go bigger. Then you can jam in more stuff, and then even in an army, that's always the thing. There's got to be some big centerpiece, and then that's even bigger yet, and it's crazy cool to paint and stuff. But I think a lot of people at the same time are like, wow, by the time you're spending $100 for a unit or more, more than $100 for a centerpiece model, or 70 to 100, that's even the Bretonnian Lord on Pegasus is that. I think a lot of people are thinking, hey, it'd take me 100 years to paint these, and with that much detail, you can't kind of slop some paint on and put a wash on and it looks pretty good. I mean, you can to an extent, but you sort of have to pick out most of the detail, at least get a base color on it. And so between the money spent and the time it takes to paint, I think that and it's a turnoff for some. So they're making their choice there. I think that the push towards some of these smaller scales, I think, is sort of another. I think that's driven by another thing, partly cost, because you can put a pretty large, epic scale army on the table for, a fraction of what a Warhammer fantasy army would be, to be fair. And then, and it's also a niche that was less full. I mean, if you want fantasy miniatures or science fiction miniatures, I mean, GW's got a lot of that covered. But if you want to branch out into either smaller scales or historical smaller scales, or Wargames Atlantic is releasing sort of epic scale 10 millimeter plastic strips of it's going to be a fantasy. They got works and they're
get it at Walmart.
Yeah, get them at Walmart. Yeah. Darn right, free shipping, right? So I think it's companies filling some areas that aren't filled, and then to get, I mean, boy, you can get whole armies, and painting those little ones, whether it's 15 or smaller. I mean, boy, you can just kind of, I go a little overboard. That's just what I enjoy. But you could dot some paint on, base coat them, dot some paint on, put a wash on, maybe a quick dry brush, and bam. I mean, you can crank them out if you wanted. And I think the other factor is too, they talk, especially, I think we forget over in Europe and UK, which drives a lot of the gaming purchases, I think, or what people produce, they've got less space. I mean, their houses and things in general are smaller. They don't have a they can't have a dedicated gaming room set up. And so
they don't even have basements.
They don't have, and a lot of times, they don't have like this, like a storeroom. Like, every house I've been in has like a room that's literally, was a fifth bedroom.
You're doing like Fraser over at Von Catering.
Right.
He built a shed in his backyard.
And then they tend to get together at gaming clubs. Again, generalizations, but you could pack up your little 10 millimeter army, tuck it under your arm, grab the subway or whatever, and you're at the gaming place. And then when you come home, it goes in a drawer, So I think it's all of those factors kind of drive that. I don't know. That's just some thoughts I had on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would add to that in that, like when I got into Star Wars Armada, I was already playing X-Wing. And one of my friends that at the time, I was not a believer of my favorite Star Wars game, Armada, as I am now. But at the time, he was trying to talk me into getting Armada. And one of the things he said that he thought was really cool, he's like, he bought this pack that just had all of these large ships. So it had the Millennium Falcon, that we all know from like the first movie, but then it had like all these other larger than fighter style ships that were like it had like Boba Fett's ship and like this and that.
Right.
And he's like, because like the Millennium Falcon at the time was like $50 to $60 Canadian alone for X-Wing, and it was like a ship this big, which I have it. It's like this big.
Yeah, cool.
It's a really nice model.
Yep.
But he's like, I got the Millennium Falcon, and I got like 9 other ships. You know, like for $25. You know what I mean? Like he's like for $25, I've got the Millennium Falcon. He's like, look at this, I got the Millennium Falcon. You know, and like the thing is when I first saw Epic, I thought I'd already been playing 40K, and I was kind of really entranced by the mass battle and seeing all of these things that normally I wouldn't be able to put on the table because of like budget and like lots of stuff, but like how you would but you recognize them and identify with them, and you're seeing them just like you getting an opportunity to play things that you don't always get to play, and in a scale you don't get to play because of the size. And so that is what really drew me into that scale. It wasn't so much like a dissatisfaction. And so I'm not saying that doesn't happen, Tim, because you're probably right. It probably does. But in my personal situation, it wasn't as much of a dissatisfaction with the 28 mil scale. It was really just like, but where I think it actually maybe ties with what you're saying in agreement is that by only seeing the bigger scale, seeing the alternative, it drew me to the alternative. Like, you know, like, and it was like just sort of an opportunity to play something that seemed like, as they call it, epic. Like it just seemed epic. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like, and the Star Wars Armada has the same feeling for me. Like when I play the Star Wars Armada, you're like, oh my gosh, like look at the vastness of this battle. And because you play maybe either X-Wing or you play 40K, you're very familiar. It has an impact on you, the scale, because you're actually normally playing in such a skirmish style, you know, in comparison.
Right.
And so it's like, oh my gosh, like normally I push 3 units of 10 Marines around, Space Marines around on the table, and I have a Dreadnought and this and that. But here, it's like just the massive amounts of them is just like kind of has an impact on you, because you're familiar with it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what drew me to it.
Now, interesting thing on the side note is like one of the most watched videos of my entire library of videos I put out was comparing different scales of the same games. Mm-hmm. It was had to do with like Flames of War, where different companies had different, it's supposed to be all the same vehicle, but they're all the different sizes. And part of it is that some of the ones I got were from 30 years ago. You go back when they was actually true 15s, and then who's the Flames of War guys?
Battlefront?
Battlefront. Theirs are more like 18 mil.
Yeah.
They're larger. And I compared the size of it, and it's like, there's scale creep right there. Because they want theirs to look bigger and bolder on the tabletop.
More detail, maybe, or more impressive.
They want it to be seen and shown off, and that's part of the issue you have. You look at like Games Workshop. I have a whole bunch of, Palmer has them too, or Rogue Trader models. Right down here below me, I could pull out my Space Marine army, and it is from a lot of its Rogue Trader era, and then you compare them to the same scale of just 20 years ago of Space Marines. They're so small comparatively.
Well, that's why my Bretonian 5th edition, they barely fit with the 6th edition. And then the new release, like Foot Knights, they look like children next to.
They do.
Yeah.
They look like they didn't eat their Wheaties, It's like...
Yeah.
So there is a definite scale creep, just even with the same company over the decades.
And within the same scale.
Within the same quote.
Because now it's like, it's not, they started off as more like true 25s, and then they went to 28s, and now they're 32s.
Yeah, almost historic 32s.
Yeah.
So heroic, I mean.
Yeah. They have gone beyond what is actually, and then they throw so much detail. It's like, when I was saying earlier where it was, I was assembling models, some of these dwarves that I have. I got a whole bunch of them I have to put together yet. Where I look at them and go, why is there so many different bits to put these things together? There's no need for this.
Unless can you make them all different? I mean, I always like to be able to make it unique, but there's usually
each model's kind of unique in itself.
I like that. I'll say.
But there's so much detail now. Like we alluded to it earlier, is that a lot of these models have, I think, too much detail.
It's obscene. But wouldn't you agree that it's? I mean, obvious. It seems like most people would like it, right? I mean,
if you were a painter and you enjoy painting armies with tons of detail, that's great. But if you're a person that hates assembling,
no, yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that we must be in the minority, though, because evidently, I mean, it's working, right?
Well,
or are more people buying the models to collect and paint or dream or to play?
I think it's more collect and dream than it is to play.
Probably.
Well, most of them are just to sit on a shelf and never get painted.
Yeah. That's what I mean, to dream about playing, but not actually, or paint, and they sit there, and in 20 years they'll be selling brand new in box things.
It is true that most people like plastic models more than metal. I mean, like, even though there are people that like metal more, like myself,
I like metal more. Yeah.
There are people that like plastic more, and that's fair. And there are people that like to have the options to configure things differently and like be able to put like a spear instead of a bow and like that kind of stuff. And
they're nice to customize. I like that.
Yeah.
Plastic.
I was always a big fan of the monopose metal miniature.
Oh, me too. That's my absolute favorite.
I do like variety in the poses, though, which the 5th edition Bretonians do. There's a minimum of 2, but a lot of times there's more. And but they're not. Yeah, they're single piece miniatures, though.
The issue is that monopose metal miniatures oftentimes don't lend towards really large armies. Unless you want to play March of the Wooden Soldiers. I mean, like if you actually have, like, I have a big army of British Fusiliers that they're all monopose, and I have 50 of them. You know what I mean? And I like them. And that's great. Like if you want them to be in at arms, marching and like just or
very regimented.
You see a lot of historicals. You see a lot of monopose.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's because if they're ranking up, it's easy.
Yeah. Plus, they were supposed to be uniform. They're marching in step, and then when they're in combat, it was very regimented.
Yeah, they're not wanting them to be all jangled up. It's
they're not just hanging out. It was very disciplined until the bullets flew, probably. But
then they started lying on the ground. But
yeah,
the one thing. This is another side tangent a bit, but I did a video once, and I guess I've always felt this way since doing this video and thinking about it. But like, if we forget about the average miniature, but like if we think about stuff like whether it be tanks or whether it be like ogres or giants, like things that are meant to be bigger than your infantry, there's a scale increase that's happened where everything has to always be bigger. Like the difference between like your infantry and like whatever it is has to be bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like dragons and like everything as the technology for sculpting and like producing kits has gotten better. Like part of it's not just the detail, but part of it is like things have to be bigger to be impressive. And the one thing that I just thought was really funny is that if you actually look at, like if you look at humans like Andre that were like exceptional, like Andre the Giant and like things like that, if you actually were to put him into like miniature scale, like like alongside another 28 millimeter miniature, he'd be tiny by today's standard. Like like the things that they make, like that tower over your regular miniatures, and like it almost gives you a lack of appreciation for scale. Like there's a point where you're not even really appreciating how much bigger these things would have been on the table next to each other when you're making things that are 20 times the size. You know what I mean? Like you just lose all sense of it. Like,
well, it's like like American football players. When you're watching the game, They just
They
look
don't
like
look
regular
big.
guys, and then like the one of the trainers goes out and they come up to like his waist, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, they're big, aren't they?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I think like ogres and like orcs and things stuff like that are kind of like a good example, like where you have creatures that are bigger than the men that are next to them. You just see them as men. Like I've always laughed because like when I have my orcs on the table, like next to men, I'm just thinking how like one of these orcs could take 10 of these guys, even though they're like fighting 1-to-1 here. You know what I mean? Like honestly, if you actually put like some of these things that we had on the table, like in the fantasy setting, like and in like next to, like they're just, you know, so much bigger. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. One of the things I always laughed about,
They got a cave troll.
Well, or even just like when they would fight like the Uruk-hai or the orcs in Lord of the Rings, like the one thing that's funny is just like when humanoid creatures fight these guys 1-to-1 in real life, those orcs would have eaten them alive.
Well, one swing, they would have flown across and been unconscious, but they just hold their shield up and brace.
Oh, exactly,
It's
exactly.
The physics don't physic.
No, and I'm not even talking about Legolas and Gimli and like the heroes. I'm just talking about like you had at Helm's Deep an army of orcs that you could not see the dirt and the ground or the grass. Like it was that many, and you know they would have like they would have flown through that. If it was real, if it was like really, if those were real biological creatures that looked like that and were that muscular and like, you know, whatever. But it's often like that though in fiction.
It's heroic.
I think in the books, I think the Uruk-hai are like supposed to be like 7 foot tall. You know, they're monstrous guys.
Oh yeah, there's just no way that and it's funny though. It's the same thing for me. The delusion or the like the lack of appreciation of this is it translates to the tabletop too, because like when they were making miniatures in the 70s and the 80s, and you would show a miniature that was like 4 millimeters taller than the other to show that it was bigger, it should have meant something, and it meant something then, like because like that, because if you translated that in real life, that 4 millimeters would have been a lot. You know what I mean? Like, and when you translate it out, now you have to be 4 inches taller. You know,
especially as you scale creep.
Yeah. Like an ogre's not an ogre unless it's a giant now.
Yeah.
And a giant's not a giant unless it's like a god.
It's like the old Marauder giant is like a decent sized ogre now. You know.
Here you got your basic Imperial Guardsman standing next to a hero type. Like, hello.
Exactly.
Hello. Yeah, I know.
Well, the funny thing I used to say, like, I love the Horus Heresy and I love the lore and the Primarchs and all of that. Like, I'm not down in it, but I always used to think of them as the Russian nesting dolls, because you had, first you had humans, then you have Marines, then you have Primaris Marines, then you have Primarchs. And they're all basically humans that go up in scale by a foot, you know, like, or 2 feet, you know, like, it's like one, like they all basically nest inside each other.
Yeah. Here's a good example. Here's a Marine and here's the Primarch next to each other.
Yeah.
This is how much scale.
Marine, the Marine's actually way above him on that base.
You've got him on a base.
But there you go.
Yeah, it's like trying to get them all balanced out for scale.
Well, that's what
Is he a Primaris Marine?
This one?
Is he a Primaris?
This is a Primarch.
And is that a Primaris, that guy?
And that's just a regular Marine.
Regular, okay. Yeah.
And then you got the little Guardsman.
Right. So if you put that little Guardsman next to the Primarch, and remember, they're supposed to be somewhat from the same race.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be somewhat from the same race. Really, he's like a fetus next to him.
Well, the Primarchs are 10 foot, they're 10 to 12 foot tall, and then the Marines are 8-9 foot tall.
I would argue that with enough fiber, that Primarch could have passed one of those guys after lunch.
Accidentally, yes.
I'm hungry. Come here.
Could have been a wet fart even. Jeez.
The Guardsman's a little chewy, but he got him down.
That's the thing too with the scale creep, that it always kind of bugs me even when I played bolt action down in Omaha, during breaks, we'd wander around and check the other games out, and they'd have 40K going on. And I see the same when I watch videos of Age of Sigmar, but it always strikes me as like, especially in 40K, the models are ginormous, and you're still on a 4x6 table. It's like they're like it looks so out of scale. Like they're as close as everything that could. There's no way. I mean, it's just there's these huge tanks sitting like 2 feet away from, and they're massive on the table. It just looks out of scale because they've made them so big.
Yes, yeah.
That it looks almost comical. I mean, it's gorgeous. The models are gorgeous and the tables were pretty, but the reality, I just had a hard time. It looked like a medieval melee.
It actually brings up a good point. And since you're actually really knowledgeable bolt action, I'll bring this up because I got into bolt action after 40K, and I got like a US Jeep that had a machine gunner on the back. That model of the US Jeep with the machine gunner. And I was like, wow, this thing is tiny, And I was like looking at the two guys, like the guy holding the machine gun and the guy in the chair. And then I started looking at photos online of actual Jeeps with guys, and I was like, you know what?
They're tiny.
This is probably right, and even the tanks too.
Yeah,
like there's something to be said about just like being accurate. Like if they were going to be small, like if they were small back then, don't make them like much bigger just to look cool and like make it so it's like accurate, which was cool, like to be accurate.
Yeah, you have less of that going on in the World War II, and you can buy models from multiple manufacturers, and in general they mesh well. I mean, there's the occasion one where the Jeep is like almost a third bigger, or the Sherman's another inch longer or half inch. But in general, because has to still be based in historic reality, where fantasy and science fiction can just go nuts.
Here's a good example.
To show something here.
This is the actual model that was
the Japanese one.
No, the Russian was it
BA-64?
Yeah,
that's their little scout car.
Yeah,
put them towards your light, Rusty. Just put them towards your light to the screen, like just towards your light. Yeah, it's a little bit better there. Yeah.
Well, you can see him. It's like he's taller than the vehicle.
But who's the manufacturer of the miniature?
These are Warlord Games.
It's a Warlord plastic.
Yeah, this
miniature.
This is the Warlord.
infantry. The infantry.
It's Warlord. This is the Italian.
Okay, plastic.
This is actual metal Italian.
Oh, okay.
And this is their little BA-64. And I got this thing. I ordered it from, and I got it. And I looked like this is too damn small.
That is too damn small.
So I ended up ordering the actual model kit at a Talarari model,
Warlord,
and it was bigger, so it actually scales up, so it looks like someone actually can fit in it.
Yeah, so I mean, you have occasionally just poorly done things like that, but
that becomes a Christmas ornament, Rusty.
Yeah,
Christmas ornament.
There you go.
It'll work. It's plastic, right?
If I'm doing a game where I have Russians and I have a whole bunch of scout cars, there you go. They can hide behind a bush.
They can hide a lot easier. Smaller's better in competitive play.
Yeah, there you go.
But
if
in
you're
general,
play competitively, you buy a bunch of little itty things and run around on the battlefield.
But I've got, I'll have kits from everything from the Italeri, from Warlord. I've got Warlord resin. I've got Trenchworks resin and Rubicon kits, and in general, they're pretty interchangeable. Occasionally, like you said, that one was bad, and there was another Warlord resin vehicle that was pretty small, but in general,
if you look at the
pretty good.
The M5 Stuart, that's pretty small.
Yeah, and they were little dudes, no doubt, but
they're not that little.
No, and their plastics tend to be a little, and they've made them. They're getting even more heroic. Scale. They're getting bigger. Their new plastic kits that have been coming out here with their third edition are bigger in general.
Just remember though, as when you're thinking about your modern SUVs and cars and things, when you go back to the historical villages and you look at the doorways and the beds and the houses,
yeah,
people were smaller. People were
Yes.
smaller, actually.
I know.
A lot of them were only 5 foot tall. If they were lucky, a big guy was like he was 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah. Well, yeah. And all their streets were like one, little, basically what we'd call one-way street, one vehicle wide.
Yeah.
In
One of those
little
vehicles.
villages.
For a small little horse-drawn cart or donkey cart, could go through that.
Yeah.
We'd call them alleyways now, but
Right.
that was a street.
Right. Well, it's all you needed.
Well, even 2 Model A's could go back and forth on a street much easier.
Oh, yeah,
than
exactly.
what we got now.
Everything is so supersized. I mean,
Yeah.
even my 79 4-wheel drive pickup, it looks like a toy next to the new, like literally you could put it almost in the back. And it was quite the rig at the time.
I couldn't even imagine what somebody back then would think if they saw a Hummer, like an actual full-size Hummer coming down the street. They'd be like,
well, even the size of
the God of War has arrived.
Yes. Even the harvesting,
big chariot.
The farm equipment now is the same way. It has gotten where it can't hardly fit down the road. It is massive.
Well, it's like, that's a good example. It's like way back in the day, and when we were farming, it was like we had John Deere A's and B's. That was our primary vehicle, tractors. And now you have these. It's like next door neighbor he bought a John Deere, was it 550?
Yeah, there's the whole 500 series. Yeah,
and it was big. It's like, wow, that thing's huge compared to our. It's like, what are you gonna do with that thing? It's like, well, farm with it.
Farm with it.
Looks like we got Jankmaster in the house.
Hey,
yes,
there he is.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're creeping. Discussion. You got it. You called it.
We are creeping.
We got some comments from Chris here too. Says I'm looking at the Wargames Atlantic 100 Years War English-French armies.
Yes, I've been following that. That is so cool. I would have loved that before I gotten so deep in some of my other projects. Very nice looking miniatures, and that's a great company.
As I get older, smaller scales speak to me more.
Except unless your eyes go away.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a concern.
Collect and sit on the shelf. I see it often. That must have been in a comment about when we were talking about.
Are people just buying them?
Are they buying
to
play, or are they buying to paint, or are they just buying
to set them on the shelf and think they, dream about it?
If we use Marines like they are in the novels, you would only see maybe 4 to 5 Marines versus 120 war enemies. It's true. There was one Warhammer book where actually 3 or 4 Space Marines conquered an entire planet. And really? I always use that. Yeah, I use that as an example. It's an exceptional situation, but it is sort of like, depending on who writes, it's the same thing with comic books. Like, I don't read comic books anymore, but I used to a huge amount when I was a kid. But the actual, whatever you think something is in a fictional world is only as much as it is depending on which writer is writing it. Right. It changes dramatically depending on that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Rob says, I missed Epic back in the day, giving Mantic's Epic a shot. That's kind of, we were talking actually about the Warlord Games Epic, the historical kind of side of things earlier, because Tim just played a game of that, and we were just chatting about that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually don't know that much about. I don't follow Mantic that closely, and I didn't even know that they had an Epic style game.
Is it sci-fi Epic or is that fantasy Epic?
Yeah, I didn't know Mantic did either. I mean, you mean Mantic that does
Kings of War?
Kings of War.
Yeah, Ronnie from Mantic.
I always wonder how Kings of War is doing now after the world's been out a while. If they're still got their thing going just as good, or
I would imagine people are still buying the models if they want to use them. In,
I mean, it's the game is its own thing. I mean, it's definitely got some appeal for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I might after the show go take a look at it.
I would imagine is the Mantic Games, that says sci-fi. So obviously, are they trying to compete now with Legion Imperialis then.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I saw Kings of War 4th edition's coming out.
Yeah, that's what Chris is
one of the
saying
guys
here.
just mentioned that, Chris.
Yeah, and then also Rob 2 releasing a new edition.
It's just a cool
out
looking
for Christmas.
Yep.
Which
that's
one?
What
Kings of War?
Kings of War was supposed to be out somewhere in this area, so maybe that's what he means. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I remember playing Kings of War when it first came out. We played it for a while. Yeah.
Gosh.
And
lucky
it
dog.
just it didn't fill the niche that I felt like when I had with Warhammer.
I like the simplicity of it, and I like how you can make that'd be right at my alley, making those diorama bases.
Yeah, that because all it matters is the profile. That's all.
Just the size of the base. You can.
Yeah.
It is so cool what some people do. I think it looks amazing. I just couldn't find a way where my Bretonnians really fit in the way I wanted them to. I know they tried. I know there's choices, but I never found something that was exactly what I wanted.
You guys mind if I share my screen real quick for a second?
Yeah.
I want to show you what Rob's talking about because it actually looks kind of cool. I mean, it's totally up.
Not aware of this, so I'm glad he said something.
Oh gosh, where'd they put the button that we used to use for this? Oh wait, here we go.
Yeah, they changed the look of the screen, so down below it's all different now.
Oh, is that it? Share screen.
Is that like the little TV looking screen share?
No, that's where you share your bank account numbers.
Oh. Well, that'd be bad.
That'd be bad. Epic Warpath, Rob says.
Can you guys? Oh,
not yet.
There we go. Okay. You guys see it now?
Yep. Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking table.
This is science fiction, right?
Yeah, this is the science fiction he's talking about. It looks cool.
Designed
it looks like Legion Imperialis.
Alessio Cavatore and Matt Gilbert. So, wow. Alessio.
Oh, it's got Alessio. Wow,
I knew he did stuff for Mantic.
I know that when you have like a live stream, you're supposed to seem like you know what you're talking about. Like none of us have seen this before, unless maybe it's him. I'm not sure.
That's why Rob came in to show us.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good actually. Yeah, we're just normal guys here. Like, wow, we've never seen this. It's probably been out a year or something or more.
Probably on the 3rd edition by now.
Exactly.
I like those buildings. I wonder if they sell the buildings along
that old
with that.
table's
I'm sure they probably do. You're probably like, I agree. I was thinking that too, Rusty. And like, you guys can't see my pointer, can you? When I share
I can. I see it.
This building I'm putting around here, if you would have told me that was from 40K, like Epic, I would have said, oh yeah, that totally looks like Gothic style terrain. Like this all looks Gothic. Gothic stuff here.
Yeah.
And these miniatures look cool from it. I mean, at least from a distance, it looks pretty cool. Actually,
yeah, that's
all right. I'm gonna stop sharing. But I thought
I wonder if they're metal or plastic minis.
Well, I didn't look at it, but
Mantic's mostly plastic.
Yeah, by this point,
it's just a big investment, so I didn't know. It's more expensive to make plastic than metal, so I didn't know what their thing was.
Chris says my mini factory has STL files for Epic. Yeah, I've seen some of those. Those look really good. There's a starter for terrain. And resign. I'm not sure if that means because we didn't know what these were. We should resign as a miniature wargaming channel.
Oh yeah, we probably should. We're probably going to get shut down by.
Or maybe he means something else.
Gaming.
He might mean something else, but he might mean resign.
Well, you wouldn't be wrong.
That's a good example of that stuff just starts coming out and you never even know about it. If you don't see anybody sharing about it,
just so much stuff.
Oh, he meant resin. He's not telling us to resign. He meant resin.
Oh, okay.
Just resign. Okay. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's fair.
Resign. Anyways, you know what I think part of it, I don't know if you guys notice this, but I just find the more you get content with your gaming, sometimes you miss a lot because you're just not really looking anymore.
Yeah.
I find I don't look as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I used to know, like 5 years ago, I was much more up on like what's coming out than I am now, for some reason.
Well, for me, if I don't have somebody to play, I'm not looking for new. I got enough things that I could play or might play, or that I will never play that I still enjoy painting. That I'm not I'm not looking for more. Really, I'll never get it done anyway.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
fun to see.
That is part of it. Yeah. No, it is fun.
Can only afford.
I actually, because I like the Adeptus Titanicus. Like it, I love the look of it, but I actually find because I got into Drop Fleet Commander and I was looking at Drop Zone Commander. One of the things in the Epic style game, like a lot of games, like I still have to feel as if the rules are pretty good, and that would be otherwise you just still end up with a lot of cool stuff you like to look at, but then you'd end up not using it. At least in my experience. And so one of the things that I can't say anything about the Mantic, I've not played it or even seen the rules, but one of the things that I've been happy about with the Adeptus Titanicus is that I've really liked the rules, and we've really had fun games, and I think from that perspective, it's maybe pretty satisfied with it. But I took a look at Drop Zone Commander, and it might just be me and just my style of games that I like, but I decided that I was not going to go for that because I just decided it wasn't for me. And I even really liked the miniatures and like I like the design and everything.
Yeah.
But I just decided, like, I looked at the rules and I'm like, yeah, I don't see myself playing this very much. And so done deal.
Yeah. Well, you got to draw a line somewhere,
Yeah, I had the Drop Zone Commander, all the factions and painted up and everything. And
yep.
I liked it. The rules weren't that bad, but I just couldn't get anybody to play it.
Okay.
So I ended up just selling it. Some guy in Hong Kong, purchased.
Oh, I remember that. I remember you talking about that.
It was like, okay, I'll be willing to ship it off if you're willing to pay the cost of shipping. So found out how much it was going to cost, and he just sent me extra money. So it's kind of cool.
Score.
I'm going to be playing more of the Drop Fleet, which is basically the spaceship game version.
Yeah.
And I did like it. I did like it. I still have a bit more to play to continue to try it out, but I did enjoy.
How's that scale up with the Star Wars Armada?
The fighters on that are like, you'll have like 3 fighters on a cardboard token, and if you were to make real miniatures, like the fighters are like 3 millimeters big, whereas in Star Wars Armada, like the actual fighters are, I guess, significantly bigger, like 3 or 4 times the size. And then if I look at the capital ships, it's kind of weird because in Star Wars, like I would say that the scale in Star Wars Armada is just a little bit bigger overall than in what did I call it? Drop Fleet. Yeah, Commander. I think in general, like even the bigger ships are a bit smaller.
Sci-fi fleet battle games out there.
Yeah.
Rules, and it's like, hey, it's agnostic. You can just use whatever miniatures you want.
True. Well, you realize that you heard that they were releasing that old other miniature game that was a. Is it Spartan Games that did it, or there's a
Firestorm Armada?
Firestorm Armada's coming back out.
Yeah.
You hear about that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we talked about it, right? Like on this show.
I think the last show we talked about it.
Yeah. I'm actually interested because I never played the original. I'm interested to see what the rules are like for that.
Well, the game mechanics, the core mechanics are the same as Dystopian Wars and their Uncharted Seas. The core mechanics of how everything fought or the shooting and all that was very similar.
Yeah.
It's just how they adapted it from ship battles to water battles, air battles versus, just fantasy style.
Right. Well, I'll have to, I don't know, maybe there's an old YouTube battle report I could watch and just to get an idea.
Yeah, there probably is.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it when
everything.
I'm not sure when it's coming out.
And if they're doing everything like they did with Dystopian Wars, it's not even going to be the same game. So.
Oh, okay.
Because the new Dystopian Wars is not the same as the old Dystopian Wars. The only thing it's the same, really, how I feel about it is the name.
Mm-hmm. Rob says, I have issues finding opponents for games I like, so I'm having to adapt to a very mantic-centric group.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good as long as you're enjoying the game.
Better than nothing.
I skipped over here, but Chris says not the same game at all that they announced.
Okay.
Oh, so the Firestorm Armada is very different, is what he's saying?
Yeah, imagine.
Oh.
My experience.
Yeah, is what?
Well, my experience with Dystopian Wars is that it's a totally different game system.
Oh, maybe does he mean the Dystopian Wars? Is what he's saying?
Or the Dystopian Wars or Firestorm? I'm not sure. He'll probably clarify.
Rob says some of their games are fun, but jonesing for some Blood Bowl. So depending on location, what options you have. Yeah, I know that Rob really likes the Blood Bowl. And same name. That's all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the issue I had with Mantic, not Mantic, but who are the guys?
Dystopian Wars?
That now took over Dystopian Wars. War Cradle? Yeah, War Cradle.
Yeah, War Cradle. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of old fans that are just dysfunctional or dissatisfied with what they did to it. It's like, I'm one of them. But they had to they got to put, say, hey, we bought the IP, so we're going to do what we want with it. So
occasionally, there are some examples where occasionally they change something for the better.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe it'll be good. But maybe it sounds like Chris might know something. I don't know.
Yeah, with Dystopian Wars, they put out a lot of stuff out there, so you could play test it if you wanted in your groups. And originally in the beginning, you say, "Oh, use your old models," and then eventually those got phased out.
Yeah, I think everybody does that. Everybody does that.
Yeah,
like GW did that with Age of Sigmar. I had my Goblin army. The first thing they did with the Gitmod Grops when I did the Age of Sigmar is I didn't play it very long, only in first edition. The first thing they did was they made it so orcs could take your Gitmod Grops, but you couldn't take the orcs. So basically they were like, yeah, you should play the orcs because they could take the Gitmod Grops, but you take the Gitmod Grops, like the guys that I have, I can't do any of that. And then eventually they phased them out completely.
Just phased it completely out.
Yeah. But initially it all started as you can play all your stuff.
It's all fun and games until they take your toys away.
That's right. Chris says that a new edition of Dystopian Wars is out soon that he's hearing.
Really?
Yeah, I think the new one the latest Dystopian Wars been out for 3 or 4 years.
So is it the same game as it was back?
No.
That's what I thought you said. It's like basically a whole different.
Yeah, for me, the only thing they have in common is the name.
And the ships, like just the basics, right? Not any of the mechanics, really.
Yeah, a lot of it's all different.
Yeah,
And the old system was really easy to play. You just had to throw bucket loads of dice.
Why don't you just play the old system? Back to that same old thing. Yeah. I won't call it a dead game.
I've been trying to get our group to play a game of it every once in a while. But
yeah, well, that always, watching it back, who was producing it then?
Spartan Games.
Yeah, back when it was that, because I remember watching some battle reports of that, and that looked. You did 1 or 2 even.
Yeah,
and
it was a fun game. I loved it.
Sweet.
Yeah, you were big on it.
Oh yeah, it's like we used to play it every week. It's like go to town. It's like we had we'd either play Uncharted Seas, Dystopian Wars, or Firestorm Armada.
Oh, okay.
Chris says that they merged the game with their Wild West Exodus storyline.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not familiar
That sounds
with
kind of criminal.
Yeah, that sounds a little odd, even. To be fair.
I have this naval game that includes Europe and like all these other places, but we're gonna just combine it with Wild West Exodus. It sounds kind of weird.
It's kind of the obvious choice, though. Really.
Maybe I don't know. I don't really understand it, so I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about either one really, so it just sounds weird.
It kind of was.
Kind of was.
Well, the worst thing I always found about Dystopian Wars is when they made the new edition and we looked at it and started playing around with it, is that all the flavor of every nation disappeared.
Oh.
It just became more of a generic mass of nothingness. What made a fleet of that flavor for it and played uniquely was gone. And
that's not good.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I just got an issue that's happened, and I apologize, but I'm gonna have to get going.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got to get going.
I know we're at that
going
time.
too.
I know we're at that time, but I do apologize. I just got.
That's all right.
Abruptly, that's fine.
Yeah,
it's
11 happened a couple
anyway.
times recently, but I will talk to you guys later. And
All right.
thanks everybody for watching. And I'll talk to you later.
All right, we'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you in a
Okay.
couple weeks.
See you.
Good night,
Yeah.
everybody.
Night, everybody.
Okay. Bye.